Welcome to the Talking Truck. What is it? Talking Truck Shit podcast. I'm going to start that up.
Whether you prefer shiny or patina, lowered or lifted, 2 or 4-wheel drive. Buckle up with your host, Brett Sullivan, Barry Higgins, and Jeremy Howland as they fire up their engines with the Talking Truck Shit podcast. Listen in as they talk trends and tech, talk to industry experts, and laugh at each other's road stories. So grab your favorite drink and feel that thunder as we roll into this episode right now.
Welcome to the Talking Truck Shit podcast. I'm Brett Sullivan alongside Barry Higgins, and our guest for episode 3 is Scott France. Scott can give us all the details on, where he's from and what he does and everything. But from my perspective and meeting Scott and hanging out with him and his wife Tammy is that Scott is, and he'll shake his head or whatever, pretty modest person.
He's lying. He's trying to choke this shit out. He's lying already.
Yeah. Well, with his work and everything, to use the term that he is an artist or a magician with metal, I fully think that that's an understatement. But it's great to have you here with us, Scott, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule in order to do so. But it's great to have you here, and we want to jump into things and ask you about, right off the top, where did this come from?
Kind of a trick question. Where did what come from?
Sure.
The fabrication side of me?
I think the part that where we talk about.
I think it trickles back to you was born an artist, obvious, and then it got shoved in your face.
And
obviously,
you found that medium of
right. Not to get all sad story. Everything has a sad story, right? But here's the deal. I grew up very poor, real poor. And you always hang around people that have cool shit, right? So for me to have the cool shit, like
you had to work at it hard,
take their beat up one and make it nice,
make it cooler,
or make my bike cool like yours.
Sure.
It wasn't a cool bike,
Sure.
Now I got people thinking my bike's cool. So it happened at a very young age, and then you're exactly right. My grandma was an artist on my dad's side.
Cool.
She come from Acapulco, Mexico. And she could do doll sculptures and paintings like no other. Now, on my mom's side, my grandpa, he was a painting guy like Norman Rockwell. He always did that style of painting stuff. So, yeah, the art and the drawing is from both sides, and it's deep within me.
Yeah,
I did a lot of drawing. It was the only grade that I did good in school was in art class. But I did really good in art class. Played with cars and everything like normal kids, right? Hot Wheels and slot car tracks. And then I got deep into building model cars. And I think that's where my vision kind of came into designing and building the hot rods that we are today was from the model cars. I wasn't the kid that built the model car the same as the box. I was the kid that had 3 different model car kits.
I got it
all together.
I needed this motor with
wheels
and maybe that sticker pack, right? So then I started building the model cars pretty serious with an uncle in his basement, and he was doing them really serious. And, we started doing the plug wires and the dipstick and all the details. And then he's like, you know what? There's a little model car show. We ought to take your model car and put it in the show. Well, when I put my model car into the show, and I guess back then it was like in your age bracket or whatever, they red flagged me. They're like, bullshit. That's not
somebody did that for you.
Your uncle built it.
Didn't make this. It doesn't look like all the other kids' stuff. So it was a little more advanced right there already. And not, my uncle, he was way more advanced than me. So I'm looking at what he's doing. But I honestly did do it all myself, And then the painting and stuff like that, it all came into play. So I hand painted all my own graphics and everything on my model cars. And then you grow up a little bit more and you're done with the model cars and you find women, and that wrecked everything. Right? But now I got into the mini trucks mini truck world. You know, the 32 Ford guys of yesterday hated us mini truckers.
Yeah.
We were the outlaw of car show stuff. But the mini truck guys back then created the big one-off fab scene that you're dealing with today, because in the mini truck world, there was no catalog.
Well, you know, if them guys would have had money, you imagine how creative they could have got, because they couldn't ever finish because there was no money.
Right.
You know, they used every dime they had to try to make it happen.
Right.
You know,
But the thing I'm trying to say is, in the mini truck world, there was no catalog.
oh yeah, you couldn't buy nothing. Yeah.
You could buy everything for a 32.
Oh
Ford,
yeah.
But the mini trucks you couldn't buy anything.
Sure.
So I would take you, if you were my older brother, and your old 4Link, and make that stuff work, you know. And the mini truck guys invented the airbag suspension and everything, basically, you know. Firestone threw one airbag out there, and they're like, what can you do with that? You know, and dudes went crazy with that stuff. All of those guys, not all of them, but 90% of all them guys that were heavy mini truck builders are shop owners today.
Oh yeah.
Doing what's raising the bar now.
So I see that I saw it on Instagram or somewhere where people are like, how did you learn how to do this? And how is it you can do so many things and all that? And it kind of hits right at home here. It's like, you know, when they say, how do you know how to do that and everything, you go, well, I'm fucking broke. So I had to learn how to do that myself and everything. So, you know, there's a lot of good things that come in life because of having to learn how to do it yourself and everything. And I you know, I learned a lot of that stuff myself, in the fact of not growing up with any money and all this stuff. And then now we had bought a house and we remodeled it and everything. And they were like, well, who did you hire to do this? And who did you hire to do that? And it was like, no, I did it. Like, I think we had our countertops done by somebody, but plumbing, heating, electrical, all that stuff was like, I do it myself because, one, I'm a tight ass, but two, you know, I'm broke. So if I paid somebody to do all that shit, it wouldn't be possible either. So, you know, it's there's a lot of good habits and things that come in life by not having the money to throw at things.
Right. I mean, it's not taking anything from the guy that has the money. They got nice things too, but that's what gives the less fortunate guy something to reach for, right?
Absolutely.
They throw all the baddest and latest and greatest out there, and then the less fortunate says, I'm gonna have that someday.
Yeah.
And it gives you something to work forward to, or however you want to look at that.
So,
but the wife and I are the same way. You know, we roll into our house, and it's some regular old beginner house, and we go to Aldi's or wherever, Home Goods and Hoods and Home Depot, and we get the cheaper shit and put it all together and make it like a super nice package. And then people are afraid to sit down in our place, like, oh, it's all too nice. And like, it ain't too nice. Just sit down, you know?
We're using
but
it.
It's how you use what you have.
So I grew up, my dad was a coal miner, so we had money, but I had an older brother, and he run everything for me. So I had to take, like, he got everything and he run it all. So when it was time for me to get a car, I got the freaking hand-me-down car. And so then I had so I started in a body shop when I was 14 because I wanted nicer stuff. And it was hard for me because my parents had money, but they wasn't giving it up because they did that, and he run my path of having nice, cool stuff early.
I had the same thing happen to me. My brother's 6 years older than me, and I remember it was like he had dirt bikes and three-wheelers and all this shit, and it was like he either tore it up or nearly killed somebody or a combination of the both. And so by the time I was of age to have this or whatever, I'm like, so am I getting a three-wheeler or what? And they're like, well, no, you're not getting a three-wheeler.
That's over.
You know, you're gonna kill somebody. That's what's going to happen. And my brother did that. He did that shit from the time we were young kids all the way through automobiles and everything else. I mean, I remember a time he had a 86 Monte Carlo Super Sport, and it was 2 years old. He was like 18, and he liked to kill himself and three other guys. And so when it come time for me to get my first car, it was like an 84 Malibu station wagon.
Right. Slow you down a little bit.
It was like, well, fuck this up. See what you can do with this.
So what was your first car?
My first car, I had some beat up hand-me-downs that were like not running.
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
say.
yeah.
So do you count them as your first car or not?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They were really never on the road.
Yeah.
But my actual first car on the road was a little Nissan 720 mini truck.
Oh, cool.
I had an aunt. She actually bought it for me, and I made her payments.
Yeah,
I was working overnight doing the floor maintenance at Walmart, and I made my car payments to her, and then she finally gave me the title. But that didn't hold me back from cutting it up before it was paid for. So that was the first.
So let me ask you this: you got any mini trucking left in you to do another one?
100%. That's my problem. That's why I will never be a rich man, because I'm open-minded and I like everything.
Oh yeah, me too.
I like the exotic cars. I like the mini trucks. I have a lifted Toyota 82 Toyota first gen. I had just recently another Nissan 720, and I sold it to a kid that he was going to build it at tech school.
Cool.
So I thought that was a cool dude to sell it to.
Yeah.
I wish I still had it. I went through a rat rod stage. I still love the rat rods. I'm looking at your Chevy over there, and I'm thinking, man, I got some parts in my basement.
Cut it up.
I love everything, especially the ones that I haven't had.
Yeah,
I want to build a Pro Street. Pro Street's coming on so hot and heavy, and
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry, we're talking truck shit here, but
Oh,
it's all
we're gonna
cars,
dip into
it's
the
four
Bitcoin
wheels.
here
Oh
later.
yeah, it's 4 wheels. But that's the problem, and the bigger problem I have is my wife is just like me. So if I don't drag it home, she drags it home.
So you got to get a happy medium
Right.
of somebody's got to say no sometimes.
So we got bread everywhere,
Yeah.
not enough butter to cover.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So we got projects.
So
out
see,
the
I'm lucky the other way because my wife's so tight. She ain't gonna spend no money.
Oh yeah.
I've got a problem where I'll be, if it's one of us hanging out and talking about, improvements, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or whatever. And I won't even know that my wife might be over here. I don't think she's listening to us or something like that.
They're always
And I'll say,
listening.
I'm thinking about doing this. And I'll hear, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Stop.
They got radar ears, man.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have radar
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah.
But-
So, and I know that Barry mentioned it, and I know we want to touch base with it because, I don't know how quickly we'll get this pod out, but try and do it out in a fashion where things stay current as far as the calendar is concerned. But he mentioned DuCoin, and I know all of us have a little bit of history as far as an involvement with DuCoin, Street Machine Nationals back in the day, and I know they're still doing it, and it's coming up here in the next few weeks. But have you got any stories there, or
Yeah.
what'd you do, or were you there? And
Yeah, I'll go ahead and break the ice because my wife loves to tell this story. Everybody's got their DuCoin stories, or the strippers were standing on the hood of the Beretta, this, that, and the other. But my big man story is I was a DuCoin version until I basically got married to my wife. And
She took you
me
there?
to my first DuCoin. But I was a junkie ever since.
Oh, yeah.
I love DuCoin. I love what DuCoin was back in the day.
Oh yeah.
The crazy side and crazy custom, like the
Oh,
pro
yeah,
stick
yeah,
area.
Oh yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, I'm a Pro Street junkie. If it's through the hood and big tires,
Oh yeah.
there's one word for that,
Yeah.
and that's a hot rod.
Well, that's exactly why I do what I do, because I got drugged down there as a kid. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, this is
Man,
where
that's
it's
cool.
at. This
Yeah.
is where it's at.
Yeah.
Well, it's 20 minutes from here.
right.
Well, you go and there's 200 pro streets in one area.
Right.
Well, you imagine doing that again? Could we get 200 back in a square?
I think it's coming on really fast. We go, as Classic Car Studio, we get invited to a lot of places,
Yeah.
whether it's like roundtable meetings or just cool shows.
Yeah.
And the Pro Street thing is on fire.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think slowed it down, and I want to know your opinion about it. So, good guys won't let them there, ever. They don't want them there. They don't need it. They don't need them there. Well, I think that's what slowed Pro Street down,
All right.
because you take a look how many good guys shows there are. All they had to do is put them in an area, and we may still have 200 in in an area. Well, now all these cars are still tucked in a garage somewhere. They didn't throw them away. They're still there.
They're there.
You know,
those were the guys that had what dudes have today in the big
oh yeah,
today. That's back then. That was that kind
well,
of money
the
in their
cool
car, so
thing,
they couldn't throw it away.
Yeah, the cool thing for me is most of them got built in the garage at home.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, they were home.
Everybody
builder
was
cars,
craftsman
or
at home.
Their buddy, like
Yeah.
race car guy, was building them.
Or somebody did the chassis and then the guy finished it at home. You know, that's how they was all done.
So somebody's gonna kick my balls in. I guarantee it. I'm gonna have the wrong show, but I'm gonna correct you on Good Guys, and I'm gonna prove to you how big Pro Street's getting.
Are they going to allow
Good
man?
Guys, I believe in Columbus is having a Pro Street roundup.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
And then they also are wanting to have 3 parade laps per day of the show of Pro Street only.
That'd be fucking killer.
Trying to get cruising and everything going again.
Yeah, because the guy that originally started Good Guys, he's passed. Well, he was the guy that was anti, and because here it was he's been to DuQuoin. He didn't want that at his show. He didn't want tits and ass at his show. And he put that on Pro Street. It wasn't Pro Street. It was the hillbillies that were fucking there.
It was just the crowd there.
Yeah,
right?
it was the hillbillies in DuQuoin, not.
It was that younger generation.
Oh,
it was a little bit of like hippie Woodstock / hot rods.
Yeah. But I think the whole thing with DuQuoin and I mean, throw your input my way with it. I think the whole thing with what ruined it at DuQuoin was not necessarily, it was the citizens.
Oh yeah,
it was the locals that all the happenings that would happen at night.
If you get your
and
yard
the hell
pissed
raising
and shit in, you probably ain't gonna like it either.
But in the same breath with that, I think they ruined a lot of shit because it might not have been what you wanted. Yeah. It might have been
vacation that week.
Yeah, just for fuck's sake, don't go outside or whatever, because it was bring in millions of dollars.
They had to go outside. I think they were in their living room at one point in time.
No shit.
But I think that small town took something for granted that had been there, and they're like, we hate this. Get this out of here. Get this out of here.
They had no idea how much money it raised.
And
for the town.
now that town fell completely off the map.
All the tax revenue that was coming in from this, that, and everything else, and that's just like with our show. I had somebody involved there in DuQuoin was like, you guys should have that show over there at DuQuoin. And I was like, you guys have one fucking hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
And here we are with our show and our location with, I mean, there's 7 hotels within a quarter mile, and you can park your shit and walk in and out. And so, I mean, and interstate access. I mean, it's a jaunt to get off the highway to get to DuQuoin. Yeah. And the one hotel, if you haven't booked there, like if you go this year to DuQuoin and you don't book the hotel while you're there, you're not getting a room next year.
Yeah. I think that would have been a bad idea for you anyway. DuQuoin has ran its course and has its. Oh yeah,
it's gone.
I don't even know what I'm looking for. It's history. Yeah. If you put your show in there and anything attached to your show saying DuQuoin, they'd be like, "Oh,
it's clouded.
This sucks. This ain't clouded what it used to be.
Yeah. It's comparative. They're finding ways to compare it,
or thinking they're going to what it used to be. I think you're at a great spot. It's clean. It's relevant. It's plenty of hotels.
And Marion wants to spend money.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
what DuQuoin don't want to spend money.
Growing rapid.
Yeah.
What I
really
found
cool. Yeah.
What I found with Marion is they welcome us with open arms, and they're like, "What can we do?" Because we talked about this show, and just logistically with when do we make it a 2-day show or whatever, whatever perspective. The city is like, "What can we do for you?" And so one of the things that we added for our show, after the show on Saturday, we're having a free cruise in the historic Tower Square area, like the downtown, and it's a bunch of old businesses. And there's several establishments to get a cold drink and everything all right there. And they said, "What do you want to do this?" I said, "Yeah, that's what we want to do." And they go, what do you need us to do?" And I said, "I want a band and I want you guys to pay for it. And they were like, we can do that. So we've got 2 days worth of just pretty cool shit happening, whether it be the open house at Level 7 Motorsports on Friday, or the pre-party that follows it, or the unscheduled parking lot party that's going to happen all weekend long at the hotel, the show itself, the cruise in on the Tower Square with entertainment up there. And we got a couple different bands that are showing up at, one Friday and one Saturday. So it's growing, and we're trying to build this thing where it doesn't feel like everything that's stereotypical about, we're not following someone else's blueprint.
So, in what I think, if me and Brett are on the same page, we're going to pick maybe 50 trucks to go up there.
Yeah.
And it's not like the best 50 trucks. We want our sponsors to pick what they like to go up there. So,
I tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we do we might do $1 million row and Barry get parked about 2 blocks down.
I
but
got to park 3 blocks down.
What do you mean by the 50 trucks that you're going up where?
So we're gonna park 50 trucks around the square. Anybody can come up
at
there.
the cruise night?
Yeah,
the cruise in. Yeah,
we're gonna jam them in around the square. And it's not like we're going to say, oh, these are the best 50 trucks. We're going to be like, all right, you sponsor the show. You go give these guys the 2 trucks you like. And, not that everybody likes the same thing. That's what's going to be cool.
And that's what we do with our awards anyway. We don't pick any of them. We let sponsors or someone representing whoever the sponsor is go out and pick theirs, and then that's our thing. Where
truck, it's just everybody's hanging out. You may get an award, but it's not that you're the best truck. It's somebody liked your truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's
everybody has a different opinion.
It's all a choice thing, and really, and I've said this before. We're not doing classes. We're not doing trophies or anything like that. If you need me to tell you that you're first place, then you probably need a psychologist, because my opinion is shit. So. We'll just let the sponsors throw their pick out there, and if it's cool, it's cool, and if it's
we don't just want like high-end trucks. We want everybody to come hang out.
Let everybody come on. Everybody get
just
along.
Like everybody you said. We all change the same grease. You know what I mean? We're all on the same.
Yeah.
It's like we're all one big family. Whether it's cars or trucks or.
Don't get me wrong. We want cool shit there, but we want everybody to feel like they're comfortable and welcome there too.
Yeah. So. Anyway, we've got that's our deal with the Southern Illinois Truck Showdown. We've got and I try not to spiel on it when we do these pods, because I feel like it's a fucking commercial or something every time we put one out. I want to talk about it.
I mean, you're plugging. You want me to hold? Here's what he's talking about, folks. Let's not hold him back. No. On my opinion of the show, you guys, it's the hotels are right around. It's not in the parking lot of the hotel, but they're right there in the big parking lot of the whole thing. So like you park your truck and walk to your hotel room and walk back. You're there. Once you do all your traveling, you don't have to drive anymore unless you want to do the cruise or what. If you got a wife like mine that takes far fucking ever to get dressed, I can walk over to the show and hang out with the guys and be about 4 beers down before she comes walking over. At a regular show where you got to ride 20 miles to the hotel to the show,
you're 4 beers behind, ain't you?
Yeah, got to play catch up.
I got to get her up 4 hours in the morning. See, it's always 4. 4's her favorite number. Either you get up 4 hours early, or I go there while you sleep in and I get 4 beers.
Is Tammy like, Scott, I don't understand why they're opening the gates at 3 a.m.
All right, so I'll ask you this: you ever been to Sport Truck National in Owensboro?
My absolute favorite.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So when I think of a truck show, even a car show, just take the truck deal out of it. If you close your eyes, was that not the perfect show?
That was the absolute perfect show, and that's another one of those settings where the show was at that hotel.
Oh yeah, and that's what kind of we've talked about this. He's like, could we do a different place? I was like, no, we got to be here. Because we need hotels, and it needs to be,
and that's just throwing something out there. Because when we first started, I'd never put a show. I hadn't even put together a little local fundraiser show or anything like that. And we put this together, and then year one, I was so fucking depressed. I was like, this isn't going to happen and everything. There's rain in the forecast. We're already committed to the venue and everything. And we have this thing and we have 200 trucks from 13 states the first year in a rainstorm.
Right.
And
we had
then,
a good time. That wasn't going to.
Oh, it was going to be a good time no matter what. But then year 2, 461 trucks in 15 states. And then I was like, okay, we've got like 1,200 parking spaces here. I was just trying to be proactive. What happens if some bitch blows up?
Yeah, I don't want to be the negative guy here, but I believe you're going to outgrow your 1,200 trucks, and then there probably goes all your great hotels in the parking lot. But, so what you got to do is start letting the hotel people know that their trucks may park here and not leave.
Never leave.
It's going to stretch the show into the hotel parking lot.
Yeah. We can do that.
So there's a guaranteed more parking spaces.
With having the city having our back the way they do and everything, we may just close the fucking streets down.
And that would be killer. Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome what we've had with it, from everything from the street department to the mayor's office to the police that are like cruising around, just providing security for us and everything. It's pretty awesome.
Well, that's how Sport Truck was. You wheeled in there, and once you got there, there was no. You could go cruise if you wanted around.
Yeah,
town.
But you might as well park your truck.
Why? Because you could walk downtown to the old downtown area and hang out. You could, the hotels were there. It was the perfect show. Well, if they would shut that street down, we got kind of the same setting.
Yeah, there was a situation. It was almost like when you go to Cancun and you're at the resort. There's really no reason
to leave. Yeah.
So that's how cool it was.
Yeah.
And not only was it that cool, and the vibe was that cool, the vendors were that cool.
Oh yeah, everything.
The award ceremony was that cool.
Oh yeah,
it was just that cool.
Yeah,
and it was trucks only.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it was really neat. It was a cool.
Well, it was that era. It kind of sparked me too, because I was 14 the first time I went. Well, the guys I went with, they went 2 months before, bought 2 brand new trucks. We brought them home. We cut them to pieces. To debut. And they did. Shane, he did it every year. He had to go buy a brand new truck 2 months before. Well, we'd C-notch it, cut it to death, paint bumpers, roll pan.
That was back in the day. That shit. I mean, I wish more of that was going on.
Yeah. Well, there's nobody doing it in their garage no more. So I can remember plain as day. He bought I think it was in 94, 3 or 4. He bought a brand new dually, drove it from Mount Vernon 10 miles. So his grandpa had a little garage down here in the corner. Well, his grandpa comes out there. What in the fuck are you idiots doing? So he's sawing on the frame with a grinder to C-notch it. We got the bed off, all the bumpers off, the grill off. They're at the paint shop getting painted. And his grandpa, he's an old hot rod guy, but he was just sitting there like, what the heck?
Fucking ruined.
Like 10 miles on it.
Old hot rod guys didn't do it to brand new dualies.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask this. I don't know. Do we have to pay to mention Classic Car Studio, or and I don't want to get into any details about it. I didn't know if I had to pay copyright stuff.
If you pay me, I'll make sure
they get the money.
Yeah, I'll make sure it gets directly to. So I just what are you working on right now?
Right now, I thought this was all talking truck.
No.
Trucking ain't easy, dude. These guys gonna come hunt me down talking cars on their truck channel. You know?
That's fine.
No, right now I'm working on...
Oh, you got to be working on some kind of truck.
Yeah. Right now I'm working on a 69 Corvair.
Cool.
Everybody already turned the channel, but it's going to be a cool Corvair. It's
it was there when we
saw
there.
We saw
it.
We saw a little bit of a little glimpse of it in the fall.
So I'm on that full time now. I have all the inner floors done, the inner wheel tubs all the way out to the outers. I'm actually starting the whole outer side, the actual outside skins of the body now. I started that yesterday. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. All the drivetrains in, all the plumbing's in. It's got a Nelson Racing 1400 horsepower twin turbo motor.
So it's a slug. Is what you
Yeah, it's gonna be real slow.
It couldn't make
Yeah.
1500.
No, it's gonna be
That's it.
right. Yeah, right. Well, it's actually what's pretty cool. What they call it is a 3-key, and it's just in the tune. But he has.
Oh,
like
yeah,
three
you put three
different
tunes in it?
Yeah, so he could just hit the buttons and
Oh, cool.
change it all up. Whether you're going to get the groceries or going to the golf course, or straight up going straight into the trees. But no, it's for a really good dude. It was his first car, not this car, but a 69 Corvair was his first car
cool.
when he was 16. Kind of funny. We
Yeah.
talked about first
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
But his older brother laughed at him and made fun of him.
Oh, because he had that car. Yeah.
But he said, truthfully, I really liked the car. He goes,
Yeah.
I just didn't like my brother and his friends making fun. So he got rid of it as soon as he could. But he says now that he's an established businessman,
He had a little empty spot in his heart
he
for it.
wants that car back. Well, his brother road races something amateur Ferrari.
Okay.
So the goal on this car is we are going to whoop some Ferrari asses.
Oh,
on the road
yeah.
course
That's what I'm
when
talking
it's
about.
done. So it'll have a high-end fit and finish, what we're known for.
Yeah.
You know, going to win some awards here and there wherever we take it. But the performance has to be second to none.
Yeah.
I got a lot of specs off of the Ferrari that guy's driving.
Okay.
So we have the same size brakes, except for ours are Brembo. They're actually the second set sold for street use. The first set, and they come from an IndyCar team made by Brembo, full ceramic carbon fiber. all that. The first set's supposedly on a C10 in Canada, and we have the second set. They're waiting for me to get them done to get on the road. But, so the brakes, we got that part done. The wheel and tire that we did, EVOD made us one-off wheels because the brakes are so big. Your standard off-the-shelf, like billet specialty or something,
Nothing's
19-inch
gonna
wheel,
work. Yeah.
the 19-inch barrel won't clear. So we had to have custom wheels made. They are 1912s in the back, 1910s in the front, and it's running the same tire that his Ferrari guy runs. So we're just matching everything up. Now, naturally, the Ferrari's going to weigh a little less than the Corvair, but the Corvair's going to have a lot more horsepower. The
So what
Ferrari's
are we
like
doing?
630.
Suspension stuff. What are we doing?
We got a full Roadster Shop chassis
Okay.
going in the Classic Car Studio. That's basically everything we build will have a Roadster Shop chassis under it, unless it's a project that came in with a chassis already. We have a few of those slip through, but we are 100% diehard Roadster Shop chassis guys.
Can you say Roadster Shop chassis one more time so that way we can and
I
maybe
can even say it backwards. Shop Roadster. But no, we put that in everything, whether it's C10 truck, 69 Camaro, it's under there.
I don't blame you. The
it's just proven
the
for us.
drives.
They drive great. The stance is everything. The main thing is the stance, right?
Yeah.
You could have a piece of shit Pinto way over there.
Yeah.
The stance is
Everybody's gonna be like, what the hell?
We're like, man, this thing's a piece of shit. Now we're over here, but the stance made you walk.
Well, they're doing that little love right now for somebody, a skateboarder, but I can't wait to see it because it's going to be on
that
Roadster
is
Shop.
that's Magic Mike. He's he's one of their engineers there.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be
It's
fucking
over
really
the
cool.
top.
Yeah,
It's over the top. He's going to change up that game.
yeah. Well, and maybe that's going to step the mini trucking world into Roadster Shop's hands.
Yeah. Mini trucks are holding their own out there. It's just a little more underground, like it always has been.
Yeah.
Things have really
everybody's
changed,
cutting
not
stuff
changed
up
for
at
them.
home. Yeah,
But like they have a big show in Maggieville, South Carolina called the Mini Truck Nationals. I've heard nothing but wonders about that show. I personally haven't went, but they have full size trucks and everything's slammed, right?
Yeah.
But it's a mini truck show. Everybody that's gone tells me I have to go to that, and I want to. But sometimes, like I told you earlier, I'm a junkie. It's cars are like a needle in my arm, man. I'll go there and come home with more wants than when I went. So I need to stay away from some of these things. But No, it's
well,
just,
we're all the same. I mean, it's not just you. You know what I mean?
the thing is, we are the old guys now.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like when we were the mini trucking dudes raising hell and going to the coin and throwing
Mhm.
dollars at the girls tearing cars up. Now we're the old guys, and the old guy's car happens to be C10.
Oh, yeah.
C10 is the new 32 Ford.
Oh yeah, I think
Right?
so too. Yeah.
C10 is 32 Ford. That Suburban over there is a sedan.
Yeah,
Or a
yeah,
Blazer
yeah,
is a
yeah,
sedan.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
that's what it is. A 32 Ford Coupe or a Roadster or whatever. That's really a square body for sure.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
6772. And we got what I always called the ugly duckling. That was the
Yeah,
forgotten C10.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody passed by them. And then I have one myself.
yeah.
We have Shop Truck Tiffany is
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that used to be my wife's truck. Not all fixed up, but when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
sold it to the shop and
Yeah.
fixed it up. I personally love them trucks.
Well, you
But-
know, I had somebody tell me one, and he's the typical. It's 55 to 57 truck deal, 55, 57 car guy. And he comes in, and my first one I built for the shop. That was my first truck, but I had no money, and it was a total piece of shit. I bought it for $900, and it needed thrown away. You know what I mean? So once I finally got where I could have a shop truck, I bought one. And he's like, "Why would you buy that? That's the worst truck Chevy ever built." And I looked at him, and I'm like, I thought it was the coolest truck Chevy ever built.
Hey, I'm gonna be 100% honest right here. I never cared for them. I'm truly a 67,
Well,
72 guy.
yeah.
67, 72 guy. Bam.
Yeah.
I'll tell you down to what planted the seed for
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
everything. My wife's a square body person, so of course we got two of everything.
Yeah.
One's mine and one's hers. Well, actually, they're all hers, but I can claim, right? So we have two of everything. But I was watching one of them Sunday morning shows. I believe it was Horsepower TV. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
I was watching that, and they built a cool little driver hot rod truck out of the first gen C10, like a 66 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they did a driving scene, and I fell in love with that sucker. And I'm like, man,
I gotta have one.
The bed looks so short. That fucking thing's cool. And went out and I found one. So I have an original paint patinaed tan. It's all tan, no trim, plain Jane truck.
Yeah.
But I sure love it.
Yeah. Well, what got me back to my buddy Shane, he had everything. Well, his daily was a 66. Well, he'd pick me up. Well, we'd go out and do burnouts and raise hell in it. Well, he rumped me on that truck because when he had a 72 step side that was really cool. But we drove that blue truck everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in the back of my mind, once I finally got 16, I'm like, I'm buying that.
And
truck.
that's exactly, I'm glad you said it. That's exactly what I mean when I say I know what planted the seed for me.
Yeah, because
everybody likes a car or a truck for some reason, right?
Yeah.
And they may not even understand
Yeah.
why,
Yeah,
but if they
yeah.
really think it back, like I had a cousin, her boyfriend, it was an older cousin, her boyfriend had like a 72, like the tealy color with the white roof, long bed, C10, 3 on the tree. And they would come pick me up and we'd go.
And that's why you
And
like
I was
them
like,
trucks. Yeah.
She was sitting in the middle doing whatever she was doing. I didn't look. I looked out the window and I was just hoping like some of my friends would see.
Yeah. I'm the coolest motherfucker.
Everybody's got a story with that stuff, and that's where they find their passion with it. It's like me with the square body trucks and everything. That's just about all I can remember growing up as a kid. And I remember my grandpa used to get a new one every other year. That's what he did. A new one every other year.
Yeah.
And then he had his own business doing electrical work. Well, my dad worked for him. Well, he had to buy one for my dad to work out of. And then my dad's personal truck, that's what that was. And then I can remember riding to the ball, as a kid, riding to the ball games, riding in the bed of the truck and that stuff, or standing on the hump going down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, that's memorable for me.
Yeah.
Riding down it. I was little bitty, but we'd go to my brother's ball games, and I can remember one day just in particular, we're going down the road, just left the ball field, and we're going to Dairy Queen. bunch of kids in the bed of the truck,
Yeah,
and I'm
you-
standing on the hump, and then I see my brother losing his fucking mind in the pasture. Well, there was like a bee or a hornet or something, and he just jumps the fuck out of the truck. He's going down the road. He just jumps out. My brother's about, I don't know, 10 or something like that. Just jumps out while going down the road. But everybody has a story with,
Yeah.
you know,
that sounds like a
where a
horror
vehicle-
story.
I thought it was funny as hell, even that young. But you know, everybody's got a story of where automobiles affected their life in some way, somehow, and they find their passions with it. And I love this car. I don't have any reason why I love this car, but there was a story.
Right.
You know, something happened. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of people don't put all that together to realize that's really why I like this car. You know?
Yeah.
Some people don't have no history with them, and they
Yeah.
just want it because the neighbor has
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
that's what they know.
Yeah.
I like my neighbors, someone just like my
Yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's not a car guy.
And
car guy, right?
and it's like that. Everybody's got the story that goes along with it. And it's just like with
So-
the square bodies. I don't know. There's a whole lot of time. I do a whole lot of cussing messing with these
All right,
these
so
trucks.
I'll ask you this because we kind of do somewhat similar, the same thing. So after you work on something for a couple of years and then it immediately fades away from the shop, does it feel like you're like, what
Right.
do I ever get to see this fucking thing? I wasted 2 years here. You know.
Some of them are sad because
Oh
some
yeah,
of them
because
get-
some of them leave, you never see them again.
yeah,
you
you
know?
get balls deep in them, and,
Yeah.
and you actually liking the project.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And me,
And you
me-
dump everything into
right,
it that
so
you
if
know.
I do a lot of the designing.
Yeah,
and talk to the
yeah.
customer and not talk them into it, but explain how
yeah.
cool it could be.
For kind of
Because-
point them that
'cause
way.
you know this 100% for sure.
Yeah.
Just color placement or color.
Oh
picking
yeah, yeah,
can take the car to the next level.
yeah.
So if you got a 55 Nomad and the guy wants it red,
Red and
I
white.
get it.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
it red and white. But if we did something different, that
Yeah,
car would go
yeah.
from red and white with 4 of them next to it to up
Yeah.
here.
Your green Chargers. I was just talking to him at Alabama, and he's like, "Man, I really didn't want green." I was like, "Well, you picked the right fucking color because it's badass."
Yeah.
You know, and the interior color's spot on, and the outside color's spot on, and it puts that car on a different level
On a different
because
level.
if you painted it orange or a Mopar color, it's not
That-
even the
that-
same car. You know
So
what I mean?
so let me ask you this: who talking about that and the vehicles you work on and what kind of feelings you have about those and everything. What at Classic Car Studio, do they have an agreement with the customer, like when they build something, this car gets to go and get displayed and all this? Because what I'm envisioning is you get somebody with a wallet so big they can't carry it with both hands, and they do a build and it's freaking killer. But then they go bury it in a barn where there's 50 other
That
vehicles.
happens, though. You know, it
I
does
mean,
happen.
In the beginning days of Classic Car Studio, we weren't who we are now. right?
Yeah, sure.
So, but we got some big hitters.
Yeah.
We were lucky. We've always been pretty
Oh yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
And we built some amazing cars, and yeah, they disappeared, and you wonder where they're at, and then you find little traces. Of, oh, shit,
Yeah, it's over
there's
here. Yeah.
Snowman. That's the Chrysler 300.
Yeah.
I just found the Chrysler 300. That was some TV cars. The TV stuff, man, was so fast, and you're working on so many cars. We did
Yeah.
18 cars in 6 months in one season.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that shit was flying around, and you know, we're still finishing up these while those were going wherever they're going, whether they got sold or it's going home,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
I'm working on this.
Yeah.
Don't even know it's gone for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
But you know, I'm watching TV. Me and the wife are watching drag racing, and it says something about Johnson's Hot Rod Shop or something, and it's sponsored on like a Tony Stewart dragster, and then a Pro Mod and a Pro Stock. And I'm like, who is this guy? And you know, it's like it's just a different kind of sponsorship all by itself.
Yeah.
And I never heard of this, but something made me like it stuck in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, who is that guy? I never found out. I was just watching drag racing on
Yeah.
TV, and it just went away. But then I'm watching TV again, and it was some little walk around show, 30-minute show on PRI.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surfing through the channel, like, oh, PRI, I've never been there. I want to
Yeah.
go. And I'm watching this, and they're interviewing this guy, and then they showed, you know, who this guy is. Well, this is somebody
Yeah.
Johnson, and they showed those race cars. I'm like, all right, well, here's this dude. I'll find out who these race cars are, you know. And then they go to his place in Tennessee somewhere, and he's got some huge warehouse and a monster car collection, and that big Mopar thing, and OBS truck. He just likes everything.
Yeah.
He's like me, right? But he's got a huge collection. So they're panning down, and bam,
there's the car.
The 300 sitting there. I'm like, wow, at least now I know where that one's at, you know. And I was all excited, and I'm like, and it's in good hands. You know? The green Nomad we did way back in the day, green with the bronze top. That car was a little ahead of its time. It didn't get to take off like it should have done if I were to bring it out now. But you know, on the Tri-5 things, you don't fuck with the chrome.
Everybody gets all pissy about that shit.
Guys are strict to their game. But anyway, that car is in a museum, but I believe it's in Canada. And then we did a Model A, all bare metal Model A on TV once again. That car went to Canada. A lot of cars in Canada. We got a car in New Zealand. So it's really hard to keep track of connection with shit like that, right? Yeah. But here lately, all our builds we've been doing lately, it's almost in a contract, and it may be in the paperwork side of things.
Yeah.
We take them around and show them.
Use them for 6-8 months, 9 months.
I had noticed that. I know that I had noticed in the past there'd been like a few builds and stuff. I've seen them, and you guys would be displaying them here or displaying them there. And I was like, I know they're not theirs. I know they belong to a customer. So I'm assuming there's an agreement there that permits you guys to do so.
We got a pretty cool thing going on. We don't go to the show to sell the most T-shirts or whatever. When we buy a vendor booth spot, we're buying a vendor booth spot for a place to hang out. Of course, we got some shirts to sell or what. We're not the biggest T-shirt sellers there. You know, a lot of people don't know who we are. We're trying to put our footprint on this hot rod ground, right?
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're debuting or just dragging around our most recent build. Our most car. This year happens to be 2, Ed's truck and his Charger.
Yeah.
But then we'll also ask a couple of customers that may be close.
Yeah,
that
their
car kind of fits that show, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have the one on display that we're showing and bragging about, and then we bring 2 other customers so that all the customers can meet each other, and then we can all hang out and have good time. And we can represent their cars still once again. And then it lets them know it's like a family bonding thing. We're not just here to take your money and build your car.
Sure. Yeah, it's not over after you make your last payment.
Bring you around if you're able to come, right? And it's been working out good for us. The customers been loving it, and they're loving that enough to where they're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna sell this one and build another one.
Do something else.
They want that center spot in our vendors booth.
Well, you
like
know,
somebody,
and you know when you got money and you get bored, you having a build kind of keeps the guy's mind occupied off of his business or off of something else that, you know, it's therapy, I think.
I said that you probably met Ed. He's the owner of the Charger.
Yeah, he's super cool guy.
So we got those 2 done. Ed says, hey man, I got a shop challenge. He goes, I know these 2 aren't done. He goes, but can we get them both done to go to the Pomona Grand National Roadster Show? And I was like, wow, dude, that's 2 cars and they're not done.
Not just one, too.
So he basically, in kind words, said he has his end covered if we can make it happen.
Well, then you got to step it up. You know,
so we stepped it up and we made it happen, and we took both of them there, full, elevated wheel off displays. And they competed and they did damn good. They did way better than I thought they would. We did not win, but we lost by a couple of points. Well, and it kind of hurts even more.
You can't let that, because here's the deal. You're from St. Louis. You're not from California.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a little political.
But
you know what I mean?
You know, we tried to bring our A game, but we knew our bad spots when we left, just due to time. You know, like
so
we ran out of time.
I built a grade 8 car back in the day. Well, we went up against Paul Atkins. We had the better car, but we wasn't winning.
Yeah, there's politics.
Yeah, we wasn't winning. We wasn't winning. And I was fine with that because the guy I worked for was pissed off, and I'm like, dude,
you weren't gonna win.
No, we wasn't gonna win.
The name wasn't there.
We had the customer, we had the money. we had the car, but we was in the wrong setting. We just was.
Yeah.
And,
So getting away from the judging and all that shit, he already said it earlier.
Yeah.
If that's what you're after, then maybe this industry ain't for you
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
no joke.
always
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
There's always somebody
well,
nicer.
and especially now, everybody's cutting edge. Now,
Dude,
everybody
The
has.
bar is so high.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
bar is
Yeah.
so high.
And if
that-
you let that bother you with what you do, you're never gonna sleep at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never.
us at
Yeah.
the shop, I tell all the guys, is like, don't worry about what your phone's showing you. Don't worry about what the internet's
Yeah,
showing.
yeah.
Don't worry about
Focus
what the
on
neighbor
what you
shop
got
is
to do.
doing.
Yeah,
We got to do the best we can do.
yeah, yeah.
Now, the Roacher shop, I said it again.
He did.
Or-
Cha-ching.
Or
We're
Higgins,
gonna get him a T-shirt.
our Higgins Customs, they may be doing way more than we're doing, but why are we worried about that?
Yeah, yeah.
If they're already
Yeah.
there, we're not there
Yeah.
yet. We're just messing up where we're at.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep our own bar and raising
Yeah.
our own bar on every single build. And I feel like it's working for us.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah. Obviously,
We're
it
getting
is.
recognized. now.
Well,
Hey, you got to do this. You
The
got to do
shop's
this too.
full.
You said Higgins Custom. You got-
because I'm
you gotta say it again.
I'm sitting here with these two guys. And I might even get invited to this show. I don't know.
You got to say Higgins Custom because they're actually a sponsor. Unlike what was it? You said it 4 times. Who was it?
Shop Roadster.
Yeah, they're not actually a sponsor of the show. They should be, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
that's
we just-
Phil's problem.
Yeah.
He should
No,
step
no,
up.
the
To the-
I didn't go
Oh,
on
man.
their
I-
big party
I
they
keep
had. I
hearing
didn't
about
even
it.
go to
I
SEMA
want
that
to.
year.
I want to invite to that if anybody sees this.
If anybody's out there, please invite the Higgins. But-
Me and him will come if you'll pay for
Right,
us to come.
right. We'll bring this table. We'll look like we're somebody. But no, it's I don't know if the shop got invited. Yeah, some of the guys went.
Did they
I
go?
didn't go. I skipped that year to go to Dino's.
Yeah.
You know, I got so much vacation.
So
time.
here, if they pay us enough to come, we can go fly in,
hey,
party, and then we'll just fly over to Dino's.
we can
Yeah.
let them use this thing that's dangling around on my face, and they could talk to the crowd with it. You know, they'll be like, I'll be relieved not to have this right now.
So you mentioned SEMA and a little hit on Dino, and aside from this show,
Oh, we're begging.
you're well, no, I'm not plugging the show.
right.
I'm not plugging the show at all.
Right. No, he ain't
But-
plugging. He ain't plugging.
beyond-
He's stealing the show.
Beyond the Southern Illinois Truck Showdown, your favorite, your
Wait,
next
what
favorite
what
show-
is? Explain to me what the Southern Illinois Truck Showdown. What is? I've never heard of that.
You haven't heard of it? You haven't heard of it? It's just a little party. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a little party.
Oh, just
Just a little
that's
party.
the one with the hotels right at the parking lot.
That's it. That's the one you were bragging on the hotels being close. It's the ones that once Barry gets his kick, the
Hey,
hotel's
what's the
so
name-
close
what's
that
the
he
name of the
pisses at
show
the
again?
Yeah,
hotel
see, I
rather
just-
than the
I
venue.
park in the back row and I just walk over to the hotel and
He
piss.
just-
I ain't got
He just sits around, drinks beer, eats sausage all day long.
They
Eat sausage.
expected me to help on the show, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be in the back row.
Yeah.
And then I got 10 steps to the hotel pisser, and that's
You
where
should have
I'm
met the
gonna be.
old man. The only complaint that I've had thus far on us putting together this show was this older gentleman, and he goes, the bathrooms are just so far away. And I was like, fucker, you like,
He ain't
there's
as smart as
1,200
me.
parking spots, and
Hey,
you park the
you
furthest
think-
away.
Yeah, you'd think if he was old, he'd be smarter than me.
He could have at
You
least
know,
asked Barry, and
he
Barry to
just
show him
needs
where
to
the
come
hotel
hang out with
bathroom
me,
was.
And I'd be like, hey, dude, we're going to park right here, and the bathroom's 10 feet away.
Yeah.
So some people just want to know if anybody's listening when they bitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
If
it.
he-
That's
if
it.
you would stop and give
Yeah.
him a minute, you probably made it a day.
Here's the hard thing. Here's the hard thing about what we put together when we're doing this. I have a hard time listening to anybody bitch because honestly, I mean, we really don't give a shit. I mean, the thing of it is
So
it's-
come out to this show,
well,
everybody.
we don't give a shit if you
Hey,
come or not.
if you're
because-
going to bitch, we're probably going to look at you and be like, yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on that. Yeah, we're on it.
yeah, put it in the complaint box. But because we've said long before, I don't give a shit if there's 2,000 trucks or if there's 20 trucks. We're gonna have a good time no matter
Yeah.
what, as long as we can pay the damn bills.
Yeah, and like I
We're
said,
just gonna
I
make
don't
it the way we
care
want
if you bring your $250,000 C10 or you bring your $20 Ford F-150. It don't matter. It don't matter what you bring.
Damn. Damn.
You
Wow.
can bring both. if you got both, bring them both.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna
You can
reach
drag
out
that
there.
Ford in with your C10.
Are the Dodge people even allowed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They can
listen,
come.
we gotta have entertainment.
Didn't
We
have
got to
a
be able to
Dodge
make
guy
fun of
last
somebody.
Year, bitch. Didn't we have a Dodge guy last year, bitch?
If he did, I wasn't listening.
No, I think it's cool that it is an all truck show, our everything show.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Well,
Yeah.
and hey, hey, maybe you can reach out to some mini truck guys, and maybe we can have a mini truck area. You know,
That'd be all right.
You know, that would be really cool.
I honestly don't like know a whole bunch.
I
of
don't
them,
either, but I'm
but,
just
I mean,
saying.
don't make that area real big. But
But you know what I'm saying? That would be cool if we could have a little mini truck area. Because maybe what we have, we had 1 or 2, 3, 4 scattered out.
Yeah.
We need some mini truck
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. But you never did answer the question.
Okay.
What's your second favorite show? Second favorite.
Oh, you
show.
put 2 cards there. I think I'm supposed to pick you.
No,
again.
this is
1 and 2. No, you know, my absolute favorite show right now, but it's so fucking far away, is Dino's.
Oh
Cookout.
yeah, most definitely.
That's
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
time.
yeah.
A great time. Everybody can make it there somehow, some way. It's
Yeah.
just real hard for
Just
me.
fucking fly in.
Right. But I don't know what he had, 9,000 trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that not a good time?
Yeah.
But you know, it's Chevy only, and you know, how big would it be if you let the Dodge and the Ford guys
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
I like seeing everything. I'm open minded. But I understand what he's got going on. That's been him all along.
Yeah.
But you know, besides that show, and going way back to where Owensboro
Oh yeah,
was
yeah,
my
oh,
favorite
yeah,
show.
yeah. It was my favorite too.
Well, the guy behind Owensboro,
Oh yeah,
is a silent guy
Yeah.
behind Triple
Gary.
Crown.
Yeah,
So he's the one doing Triple Crown.
yeah. It was killer last year. It
And
was a
as
good
you
show.
can see, that he had killer awards at Owensboro.
Oh yeah.
Now he's got
Yeah.
killer awards at this Triple Crown deal. The amount of competition that showed up at the
Oh, yeah.
very first year at that
Yeah.
show was
that was
flipping
pretty
crazy.
impressive.
I
Yeah.
mean, flipping
So
crazy.
did you-
I wouldn't want to be a judge there. I don't care if you're just
Yeah,
picking
yeah,
top 30. I
yeah,
wouldn't want to pick
yeah,
30
yeah.
trucks or cars.
So did you see Boris put up a video a couple weeks ago of it where he's sitting there and Glenn from Billet Specialties, and I think they already doubled the entry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the pre-entry's already doubled from what it was last year.
Wow.
That's what I think. That's what I
going to
think
be
Gary
just
said.
like your problem. That show's going to just take over that whole. I mean, it's already like at max capacity, really.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Nashville's small. That
Oh yeah,
racetrack.
yeah.
They're going to blow the seams off of that and
Yeah.
have to find a new place
Yeah.
to go.
And that's
somewhere
not a-
real close to St.
For
Louis
them,
would be
that's
real nice.
yeah, it would be. We can close off downtown around Busch
Right.
Stadium and
Right.
we'll fill it
We'll-
up down
yeah,
there.
we're-
That's right.
Everything will be stolen in the morning, but the day of the
Be
show
all right.
is good.
You may
Every
have to-
truck will be on a wheels off
Right.
display.
You may have to worry about 3-wheelers and motorcycles.
Everything's
you know,
on a
right
everything's on a wheels off display.
by. Wheels
Yeah.
off display.
We call it the morning after show.
Mhm.
Yeah, now it's that show's like super. it
Okay,
was
so
super good.
I've never been to the Most Beautiful Roadster show. How's that? I mean,
that's just California itself. The
Yeah.
whole vibe there,
Yeah,
everything's different. The cool. It's just kind of.
did you wake up like with Volt Fry every day and be like, dude,
No, it's more like
oh, it was. We had some wires and some
Right.
glitter paint going, or what?
Dude, they got everything. Everything's there, you know. And then this year they had a Pro Street Hall there.
Oh,
so
cool.
It was full of all the Pro Streets. The Pontiac J2000
Okay, yeah, okay,
was there.
yeah,
Sorry guys, but I forgot the name of the hot pink Thunderbird.
yeah. I know what
Way
you're
down
talking about. Yeah,
He was there. Like all the big name
all the
guys were
original
there.
Pro Street guys were
It
there.
was so cool. But so that was just like a special thing. And I guess last year, our big dually truck,
Yeah,
the big dually Ford truck we did, it got invited because it won top 5 at Barrett Jackson. It got invited to go
Oh, to there,
to there, just
okay.
like the Pro Street thing. But that year they were having a keep on trucking. So it was all the years of trucking.
Oh,
and they picked
cool.
our truck to represent today's truck.
Okay, that's cool.
That's cool.
So that was an honor.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
So that was super cool. So the truck went there, and then that sparked up And
Yeah,
man,
to
I
do
want my
more
cars
stuff. Yeah.
on the floor competing.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That show itself is just really neat.
Yeah.
It's a mixed variety, a lot of high end shit indoors, and then like the local dudes roll in,
Yeah.
and whoever else. I'm assuming they're locals. They're
Yeah.
filling out the outside
Yeah.
lot, not the parking lot. but
Every
the lot.
59 to 64 Impala's there.
Dude, Volkswagen,
really?
Love 'em.
Volkswagen,
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just everything. Street rods, hot rods, Volkswagens, rat rods, just a serious, crazy mixed
Yeah,
vibe of stuff.
How many cars do you know? Do you happen to know?
I don't know how many they have, to be honest with you. They got good vendors. I'm a vendor guy. My wife, I call her Miss Shop a lot. but
You
like,
have to go hit every
if you
vendor and see what
pull-
they got.
If you pull heavy hitter vendors to your show,
You're doing the
that
right
pulls
thing.
volumes of
Yeah.
cars. Because that's the way I look at it. I'd be like, what's this show? I never heard of this show. I'm like, oh, well, fuck, he's got some badass vendors coming.
Yeah.
If
I'm
they're
gonna.
investing,
Yeah.
it's gotta
Yeah.
be a good show,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it brings a
Yeah.
heavy crowd.
Well, we've kind of nudged the horse on the roadster shop. We'd kind of like them there
Ching,
because
There goes again.
we're basically an hour from hour and a half from the Triple Crown, and you got to go to Marion to get to
Right.
Triple Crown, and it's a week before. So basically,
You just swing on by and
if you left our show on Sunday, you're going to have to be at Triple Crown on Wednesday, so you can go
Right.
wash the truck,
Right.
get everything organized, and then show up at
Yeah.
Triple Crown after you leave our show. So
Well, I don't know if you guys heard of the Road Shop. But
Damn.
they're big game.
they're a pretty big game,
You
yeah.
may want to wash your truck for them.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
it could be.
Sponsor
I
that
probably
done.
won't wash it, but it could be handled. We could get
So we
somebody
got
to
a
do it.
truck wash right up here.
Hey, I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard this one or not. Last pod we put out, Barry said there'll be 1,000
Oh
trucks
goddamn! Here we go.
at the show. I'm gonna hold your ass to this. He said there'll be 1,000 trucks at this show, or I'm buying around for every motherfucker that's there. And I was like, I hope there's 998. And he's like, I'm buying 2 extra entries.
Hey, I'm buying 2 extra entries if it's fucking $9.98.
That's right.
That'd be way
Yeah.
cheap.
No,
That's
we're
only
doing a
$40
truck
bucks.
And then he said, if there's not 1,000, I'll buy a drink for everyone. And then I think Big Jeremy was like, but if there is, everybody's got to buy around for you. And I was like,
everybody's
fuck, I'd
buying
love
me
to see him
around.
trying to
If
drink
there's
1,000.
1,000 trucks, every entry's buying
Every
me
entry's
around.
got to buy him one.
See, 1,000 is a big number, but it's
Oh,
not
God.
impossible.
No,
There's
no.
so many trucks out there.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
you go to these shows and it's like, man, there's like trucks everywhere,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
all fixed up and they're
Yeah.
all super nice, and it's like you almost think like every truck out on the roads fixed up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
super nice, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
every
Yeah.
square body has been saved.
Yeah.
And there's still many more that are
Oh,
like
yeah.
going to shit, and there's so many trucks out there. 1,000 trucks is not a long shot by no
Well,
means.
you can bring your Nissan, you can bring your Mazda, you can bring your
Oh,
Ford.
you want me to bring my 1,000 truck? Then it's gonna look like a salvage yard, and Marion ain't gonna be happy with
You're
it.
gonna have to get
It's
your
a truck show,
Then,
not a salvage yard.
10-car freaking haulers and drop all your stuff off.
But they're not mine; they're my wife's.
So, what projects of your own? We've talked about stuff that you're working on in Classic Car Studio.
Yeah, we kind of side steered on that a little bit. People were bored with that. It ain't a truck. No, projects of my own. I'm trying to finish up my wife's Blazer. It's a 82 Jimmy. It's all bagged out. I got 24s and 22 intro wheels on it. Actually did Ride Tech air ride on that because we're a Ride Tech dealer.
Are you
Why
plugging
got
them
that
now?
AccuAir shirt on.
We're
for
keeping
then?
track of Ride
Well,
Tech.
we are AccuAir. We are AccuAir. dealer,
AccuAir
too.
also.
We
I
did.
just need to know who to invoice for all this shit that we're talking here. I mean, actually, I've actually been messaging back and forth with Ride Tech.
I mean,
So
the
I'm going
people
to
in
make sure they
charge
know
over-
that they get this pod.
the audio guy. I mean, how many plugs are left? Did he take them all?
If I
Or-
should, can I invoice
Do I
it?
still have some plug time?
No, go ahead. Plug all you want. I
No.
just need to know who to
No,
invoice.
we are a dealer for Ride Tech, but mainly 100% on coilovers and all their bolt-on stuff.
yeah,
they're
that is
a
good stuff.
big industry game there too. AccuAir stepped up 100% and sponsored us on the big dually truck.
Oh, cool.
Flawless. I love it. I love AccuAir. I love all their shit when it comes to air management. Getting to that, working on my wife's Blazer. It's almost done. We wanted to upgrade the rear wheel, so I had to build bigger and wider tubs. So we haven't finished the interior. Now she wants to do stereo stuff. So we got to get the interior done on that. And I think we're going to call that one done. That's called Coconut.
Yeah.
I have on the chopping table in the shop. I just haven't started yet because every fucking part in the world is on back order. But I'm getting ready to start a square body crew cab dually, and it's all going to be bagged. I don't know if you can see it. With air management on there.
And if you guys want to just email me with your information, I'll just send that right over.
You know, here's the story. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody in trouble. I hate to, but AccuAir called and asked how the dually was doing. Everything was going great and blah, 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 blah. And they asked me, what are you working on? I'm like, well, I'm doing a Corvair, but it's on Roadster shop chassis. It don't need air ride.
We're getting tabs.
Yeah. But I do have a project for me.
He said, just like you, what are you working on personally? And I'm like, I got a big ass square body dually that I'm going to put on bags and 22.5 Alcoas. And I plan on making it a slammed out truck that I can take to a show and try to help 1,000 trucks show up.
You're gonna get busy.
And I want to be able to pull a trailer with some other trucks on it all the way to Dino's. So I'm trying to build it reliable, but a patina show truck quality. And AccuAir liked my story, and they said they want to be a part of that. So
that's cool.
Part of it.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Oh, them motherfuckers ain't ever give me shit.
They didn't like it. They didn't like your fucking story. That's why.
The sponsorship thing, even
killer.
as a big shop, the sponsorship thing is nothing of what it used to be.
Yeah, almost.
Now
definitely.
they give you like a wholesale.
All right,
discount.
so I've did this for fucking ever, and I'm not just saying this. I've never got anybody give me zero.
One thing.
Not even a fucking fitting. You're not even a $20 fitting.
Yeah.
You want the answer?
What?
That everybody thinks you're an asshole.
I know I'm an asshole.
There's all types to make a crowd. So don't be afraid of being an asshole. No, I haven't either all the way up until now.
That's cool that they're doing that.
Reason, for some reason, there's.
I'm jealous a little bit,
And I don't blame you because I've always been. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do they do it? How do they say?
How the fuck did this motherfucker get all these people? Well, it's just like these SEMA builds.
Yeah.
I see these SEMA
the
builds.
whole back window's full of
And and I'm not going to ask anybody for nothing. I'm not going to go up and beg somebody to give me something because I've fucking never had nothing. I work for it.
Right.
But these SEMA guys, they'll fucking beg everything and then they won't even finish the thing.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, these guys give you
that's what
all these
that's
shit.
What killed the industry.
Yeah, I think
that's
so
what
too.
Killed not the industry, but the sponsorship. industry.
Deal. Yeah.
And even us on TV was like 100% sponsored.
Yeah.
You're on TV, they want their stuff on because, like, if just to break things down really quick, to do a 30-second commercial on our TV show was $65,000.
God damn,
right?
dude, that's crazy.
That's on one episode, right?
Yeah.
So let's say a guy like, we'll pick a different name, but let's just say a guy like Higgins Customs wants to sponsor his parts.
Yeah.
Well, you could give us parts for everything that you have parts for that fit on all of them.
Whatever
you're going to get your name and your parts installed on TV.
Yeah.
On all the episodes for the amount of the parts.
Yeah, okay.
But then that even got kind of beat up because just like this, it goes to editing.
Yeah.
We did all we could do. We made it rain, Higgins stickers, and we put Higgins parts on, and we talked about how
and then they cut it out in editing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it doesn't make the show.
Yeah.
Now you're like,
I'm pissed off as a motherfucker.
So what you're trying to tell me is that anybody that wants to promote the show, it's difficult and it's very expensive. Although sponsoring the show is much cheaper.
Right. And it probably is, I don't know.
Well,
listen, we won't turn down $65,000 but I guarantee you, if you give us 65,000, we'll give you more than a 2-minute commercial.
But the question is, there going to be 1,000 trucks there or not?
You're fucking
Yeah.
right, there is.
Either that or I got to buy around.
Sounds like you got a liquor spot.
I mean, no, we tried that in like pod number 1. We tried. We would like spin the beer bottles
so we got
out where the logo was out there and all that.
What is our Vanagones
Vanagones,
down here? I'm like,
yeah.
we need a beer sponsor for the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the sponsorship shit is super hard.
Well,
And
I can
even
see
being on
that, yeah.
TV and this and that, and people know who I am walking around when I walk up to somebody, and because it's hard, dude. It's
Yeah,
expensive now, and everybody's like, dude, what'd you bring? I'm like, oh, we brought this Charger, or we brought this C10, and they're like, no, what'd you bring? Where's yours? And I'm like, dude, my shit's shitty. You know? I just work
You
on
say
that
I'm
stuff.
a working man. Do you not
Right,
understand that?
Right. So I'm what they call a starving artist. So then I told the wife, I'm like, well, why don't I reach out? Because I do have a history of TV and stuff. I'm like, why don't I reach out and maybe try to make what we are bringing and representing
Sure.
ourselves look a little nicer
Yeah.
with some parts we couldn't normally be
Yeah.
able to buy.
That's cool that
Right.
Acura did that. I mean,
Right. And 100%. And I didn't ask, I didn't ask that, but they came
that's
to me.
cool
and
that they offered, because I'm not ever going to ask either.
Right.
If you offered, I'd be like, fuck yes.
said, right. And you're going to try and represent.
Oh,
them
yeah.
But when I will say I have reached out. I haven't asked, hey, can I have that?
Can I ask
But
them to make a
I've
little
tried to
trip?
reach out.
I'm a drunk.
And it's like you can't reach the right person.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're not
It's
talking
like
to the
how
right guy,
you write
yeah.
your letter, or
Yeah.
you send your email, or you go to the show and you try to
Yeah.
build relations, and it just seems like it's always with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, I'm not a beggar.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
a handout guy.
Yeah.
And then everybody told me, well, it's at SEMA, man. You got to go to SEMA. That's where it's all at.
Yeah.
Dude, I walk into SEMA and I'm like, all right. I walk by, I'm like, oh, I could use that. I walk in that booth and everybody's like, who are you? And what are you? And then I'm like, well, this went nowhere already. So, the ice
Because you were like the 300th guy that was like,
Right.
"Will you give me
And-
some
and
stuff?"
everybody
They
there-
knew who you was. They was just icing you. They're like, there's Scott. He's wanting something free.
Yeah,
Just
well,
act
yeah.
like you don't know who he is.
everybody out there is asking for something, and you nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
They give away so much shit.
Yeah,
and
they
then
knew
all
who
them
the fuck
trucks
you
are
were.
still sitting in the
They were like
garage,
that.
not done.
There's Scott. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
I walk around. I walk around and represent myself as that nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
But I also don't try to sell it. Like
Yeah,
if you don't know who I am by now, there's no sense in me selling
Yeah.
myself on you.
Yeah.
So I am pleasantly surprised when I am talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And it's just like down to earth talking,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh well, I watched the show. Good job." After we talked, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh well,
Yeah.
thanks. That's cool." I didn't think you knew, but and it's cool.
But
It's-
when I first met you, I wanted to treat you like I didn't care if you was on a shit. I
that's
couldn't
what you
care.
did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just assumed you were one of them guys. I just
Yeah.
assumed you never knew. You didn't
Yeah.
know anything
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
And I
Well,
didn't try to sell it to you.
Well, and here's the deal, just between me and you, I don't watch that stuff because if me and her are hanging out, we're shut off from the car
Non-car.
world. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I ain't watched your show. I've seen it. It's just when I quit for the day, you work a 12, 14-hour day, I ain't going to come home and watch a damn car show. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes you need to, so then you realize, the shit didn't fit for him either.
Yeah, but everybody's like, well, did you see this or this? And I'm like
Yeah.
even the stuff that's on now, I'm like, have you watched that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about. Because not that I don't want to watch it. It's just once you do it, you have to shut off from it sometime.
I will say I watch, I don't run home Wednesday night at 8
And
o'clock
so
to
have
watch,
to watch
this.
something. Yeah.
But when it's on the TV, if she don't have the Housewives on, I have it on the car channel. If it's on car channel, she's watching Street Outlaws. They haven't been on for a while, so then it'll be on whatever's rerunning on Motor Trend.
Yeah.
Until she steals it and puts it on big drama shows.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do all I can do to avoid arguing with you.
Yeah.
Why do you want to watch ultra rich people argue?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't understand that part, but I will say the shows are on in my living room, and I watch them when I catch them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen like most of all of our shows, of my personal shows.
Yeah.
Most of them, because it was coming out, it was almost live, dude. We were still at work working
when they
the
was putting
shows
it
were
out.
airing.
Oh wow,
that's how fast they were doing that stuff.
That's crazy.
It was really crazy. But so you couldn't get to see them, and it seems like every rerun that they play is 1 hour. It seems. But no, it's cool. It's like when you mentioned when you first watched your own podcast.
Oh yeah,
and
I was
you
like,
realized you cursed a lot. How did your voice sound like your voice?
No,
to you?
hell no. And I knew that just from, somebody record me, and I'm like, what? Who the fuck?
Who is that fucking hillbilly?
That's what they played like a rough cut
Yeah.
back for me, each guy to see, so we could see what it was, and I was like, what? I mean, are you going to change my voice? that don't sound like me. And they're like, no, that sounds like you. Nobody thinks their self sounds like that. He goes, does everybody else sound like themselves? And I'm like, yeah, that's Mark. Yeah, that's Charles. But that ain't me. And he's like, no, it's you.
Somebody's fucking with my voice.
So, that was a weird thing.
It is weird.
Hearing myself was weirder than seeing myself.
Yeah.
But I still don't like. I feel like I'm not supposed to be watching myself.
Yeah.
We made this for other people to watch, right?
Yeah.
But no, the whole TV thing was not to steer off, but it was super cool. It was a roller coaster.
You're glad you did it, but you're done.
No, it was neat. It was a roller coaster of highs and lows. You know, most of the lows we created ourselves, just being off schedule or what. Yeah. We got lucky with really good film crew. Yeah. They understood the car thing. They've all been filming other car shows.
It ain't gonna happen in a day type of deal.
Right. But it was still hard. You know what I mean? 18 cars in 6 months.
How many hours were you guys working?
We filmed 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Wow.
I worked usually 14 hours a day to 7 days a week.
Wow.
To stay on my schedule because I did the metal work.
Yeah.
You're gonna build a hood for a 59 Impala. You know, they film me drawing it out, they film me shaping it, and then they come back later and film somebody else putting it on. There's a lot of steps in between.
Oh yeah.
So the workload was heavy. I started doing like personal goals of like, we just do a challenge, like a dash in a day. Yeah. So they give me a camera guy, and he's going to be on me all flipping day. And I'm going to try and get this dash done from 7 in the morning to 1 or 2 at night, whatever it is. He's staying with me. So that
he actually worked right alongside you the whole time.
He would stay there filming. Either that or it's time lapse or GoPro.
So let me ask you this: are you guys friends still?
Like the camera guy?
Yeah, because I mean, you spend that kind of time together, you got to become at least somewhat.
We built relationships with all them people, and like I said, they were good because they understood.
Yeah.
Now, if our whole film crew come from ballerina slippers or prom moms, we probably would have clashed. You know what I mean? We're building cars, but most of those people come from Fast and Loud and overhauling and all that shit. So they all had some type of history. We got very lucky there because I heard stories of other shops that wasn't like that. But you do build relationships because you are working side by side.
Well, I mean, you're spending more time with them than you're at home with your wife. You know what I mean?
100%.
So you at least got to either get along with the guy or you're going to kill him.
But now, now that it's done, when it's done, they were all flown in from California. So it's just like those cars you're building.
Yeah,
they left and they're gone. And it's like there's some social media connection, but it kind of fades out too because they're on to their next thing.
They're too busy. They're too busy.
They're meeting a handful of cool people all the time, right? Yeah. But no, it's cool. Our main producer, Brian, you'd never seen. He was the producer guy.
Never seen him. But
he was never on the TV or never crossed in the background. Some of our camera guys you see in some of the stuff, but he still hangs around. He comes to our open houses and everything. He said we were a super cool group of guys. He goes, there's very few people that he became personal friends with from all his filming.
Yeah.
And we happen to be some of those
That's
few
cool.
guys. And I
Yeah.
think that's cool. And
Yeah,
when we went
because-
out to California,
yeah.
he lives out there. So
So he come and met you
he
guys
brought his
up-
whole family
yeah.
and hung
Oh,
out
cool.
with us all weekend.
cool.
So the show's over. When did the show itself end?
I don't even know the dates, man. Why are you gonna make me look?
Well, I mean, was it? I mean,
We to put it in a timeline, we were under Velocity contract when Motor Trend took over.
Yeah.
We had a loophole where we could bail out. Now we were number 2 in ratings behind Ken Diggett, so they didn't want us to bail out. But the thing is like when TV was to roll in here and says, Mr. Barry, you want to do TV? And you're going to be like, well, fuck yeah. And you do TV and all these cars are all started.
Yeah.
So they don't want them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You got to start
Mr.
something
Barry,
new.
you got to go find 18 new cars to build.
Wow.
That's 18 customers. And then you got to tell all these guys,
Get the fuck out.
we're not going to be finishing your car for a while,
Yeah.
but it's going to be in the background of the show.
Yeah.
And they're happy. They're like, oh, that's going to be cool. I
And
understand. It's
then it
started.
becomes
Yeah.
bullshit.
I'm waiting for you. Well, when them seasons start back to back to back to
Yeah.
back, like we were, that car now ain't even in the background because they're tired of it in the background.
Yeah.
Production's like change up the background.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing's moving.
Yeah. No,
So
nothing's
now-
happening here.
Now the guy's calling, so what do you do with my car? Is it in the parking lot or what? And they're getting pissy.
Yeah.
So it's like a thing of we weren't born Tom Cruise. Or we'd have been
Yeah.
on
Well,
TV a
and
long time ago.
you guys are customer driven. You're not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that was our thing. It's like we could ride the wave until TV was done.
Yeah.
with
Then you may
us,
not have no customers.
You
Then
could
yeah,
turn around
yeah,
to an empty
yeah,
shop.
yeah,
or we could get rid of TV and get back to the roots of
yeah,
building.
yeah.
But I tell you what, a lot of our heavy hitter customers we got from doing TV.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
it was
Though.
a huge advertisement for us.
Yeah.
We're selling T-shirts. We know without watching the show when they're running reruns and doing like
Yeah.
The stuff bumps up.
dude, internet's going crazy, phones ringing,
Yeah.
so without even watching the TV, we know it's still out there and it's still generating for us.
Well, that's cool.
It's a positive energy.
So it went from the series came to a close, and then after that, it seemed like you guys kind of ran with doing the YouTube stuff and things
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, we weren't doing any of it. We were relieved. We're like, whew, let's just build these cars
Sure.
and not have anybody jumping down our back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, then when we go out to the public and there was such a demand for more. When's there more?
Yeah.
Why'd
We
you
gotta
quit?
see.
Right?
We
When's it
gotta
coming
see
back
something
on? When's it
happening.
coming
Yeah.
back on?
So
we
that kind of
decided-
created a
it created the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
So we have a guy that's doing videos 40 hours a week. He's
Oh,
there
cool.
every day. He's creating the videos. He tries to drop them every Sunday.
okay.
So what you'll watch today is actually I did 5 weeks ago for his editing
Okay.
and everything. That's just his schedule that he created. But if you want to check it out, it's Classic Car Studio YouTube. The YouTube channel has opened the eyes of the younger generation.
Oh,
to
Sure.
who we
Yeah,
are.
because that's
Yeah.
that's who's watching that shit.
That
Yeah.
YouTube. Now, still get the older guys that were diehard fans, just
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
last show
yeah,
we all
yeah.
went to, and they're like, man, where's the show? We're missing the show. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If you could sit down a minute and have your nephew or your son-in-law or somebody, or
Yeah.
maybe even
But
you
you-
already
if
If you
know.
could get a
YouTube,
4-year-old
yeah.
to turn on
Look-
YouTube
Yeah.
for you, you could find this.
Yeah, turn on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Now you're watching everything we're doing a little more in-depth in the build,
Yeah.
more behind the scene with no commercials. And
Yeah.
when you got the time to watch
Yeah,
it,
and you can turn it off anytime and come back right
So
to it.
that-
Yeah.
that older crowd is starting to grow for
Oh,
us
cool.
too. I'm getting some
Yeah.
of them guys where you come back around. I'm like, I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
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 And I'm dumb to it too because it says subscribe. Like in the magazine world, if you got a subscription, you're paying for that.
Yeah, I
right?
ain't
Yeah.
paying for shit.
Well,
Yeah.
when you hit subscribe, it just lets you know when that thing's up.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not paying.
You're not
for
paying
it,
for
right?
nothing.
And, so no, it's doing good things for us. We're steadily growing. The guy watches all the ratings and everything on the
Oh, cool.
videos, and then they do video on my personal stuff because I got a little spot in the back corner of the shop where I work on my personal stuff. A lot of people may have seen the Dibco video where I built the wife to Dibco. A lot of bare metal stuff going on in there. and that was one of our highest rated
Oh, cool.
videos. And so even me working in there, that's a little bit of a give back to the shop.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So no, it's doing good for us. Gets aggravating at times because it's just like TV. They come in, and shut the garage door, turn off the radio.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You're like, hey, that was a good
it's like
song,
if
man.
you were a good film guy, you would edit all that out, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's
So
just-
it's not the same, but we show up the show in Alabama and everybody comes up to me, what the fuck, dude? Why ain't you doing another podcast? And I'm like, well, we ain't got time. We ain't had time. Well, they're like, you can't leave us hanging.
right.
You gotta go on. And I'm like, well, we'll get to it.
So I know everybody has their show schedule and where they're going and all that. Where's your next one?
The next one for the shop is going to be Des Moines, Iowa, and then the very next weekend after that is Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after Columbus, I believe it's probably Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And then after Triple Crown,
Oh, you
somewhere
missed one in between Triple Crown.
Right before Triple Crown. You want to hold that?
oh,
Right before Triple Crown. Week before Triple
the
Crown.
1,000 Truck Showdown.
Hey, look. The truck on the bottom was a top 30 at the Triple Crown last year.
Right here, all you mini truckers
And
out
then,
there.
then you got
let's-
a truck up here at the top that
mini
misses
trucking is
$1 million
not dead.
row somewhere.
There's a picture right here on the flyer. All welcome.
The truck at the top, didn't it almost made $1 million row somewhere.
Oh, I seen that. There's another guy has a truck
Yeah.
just like that somewhere.
Maybe that's on $500,000 row. That's what we need to do. Start $500,000 row.
Why don't we just do like $50 row?
$50 row.
Yeah.
The black 56 Ford we did, I just got word this week, is now going back to Pomona for the Grand National Truck Show.
Oh, cool.
It got
That's
invited
awesome.
to be
That's cool.
not debuted. We
Yeah.
debuted it at the
But got
The
an
road to
invite.
show,
They're going to
yeah.
put it in a good spot, probably.
Yeah, that'll
That'd be
be
cool.
an indoor thing, competing for the
Yeah.
Grand National Truck
Okay.
Show.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a new deal. They had it last
Oh,
year,
did they?
and we had talked about saving the truck and going there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Ed was like,
unveiling
"No,
it.
I want to bolt
mean-
here now." So it made some history. Ed
Yeah.
was the first owner to have two cars competing for the Sloniker Award.
Oh, wow. That's
and
great.
we were the first shop
Shop
to
to
have
do
two
it.
cars in there.
That's cool.
And then the both of them together, he was the first owner to have two, and we were the first shop to do the
Well,
two cars
he can
for
build
the
a
guy.
new truck for next year's.
Exactly. Well, that's why I was saying that family friendship thing.
Yeah.
Ed's enjoying all of this shit so much that he's back on the list. Now he
Yeah.
wants to try to build a roadster to compete for the Amber Award.
Oh, cool.
So Ed loves the big
Yeah. Well,
competitions.
if
Um, I'm nervous. Maybe we ain't there yet, but we're trying our
Yeah.
best. There's
well,
some
he
big dogs out
seemed-
there.
I mean, he obviously he's a very successful guy, but he seems down to earth.
The most down there dude
know.
you will come across.
Because he'd talk to me and her like he knew us before. You know what I mean?
Right.
Treated us-
Yeah, that's Ed. That's Ed,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most down to earth guy.
So what are we doing roadster wise? What are we gonna do? You got any idea yet? Or
Roadster. I
don't know what year. Don't know what.
No, because we didn't really take him serious when he was saying it. I mean,
Yeah.
we take him serious,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Yeah.
with the timeline and everything.
Obviously, it's got to be a 31 or 2, or maybe a
Yeah.
29. Yeah, what is it? What's
Well,
his feeling?
that's where we try to be different.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
try
it
to
needs to
break the
be-
molds and
Maybe
stuff.
he does need to do a 29. now. Do it off the charts.
Yeah, we kicked around some different things.
Yeah.
Our main thing for him is it going to be fenderless or fendered? You know what I mean?
Because
that
the
changes
fender
game.
deal's kind of in right
yeah,
now.
and it's still a roadster.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
A lot of people think a car with
Well,
no fenders is a
and
roadster.
with your metal, that'd be awesome for you
Yeah.
to do fender.
It'll be a whole lot of metal work. I've been talking with him. He wants something that he wants to break the mold on the roadster game.
Yeah,
Put a younger twist into that.
Yeah,
'Cause we're
yeah.
walking through and it's nothing against nobody, but it just seems to be like
they all look
every
the same.
year's
Yeah,
kinda,
yeah,
Yeah. And that's just the way it is. That was like the street rods,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
red, black, and yellow
Yeah.
with leather or tweed.
Well, you could build a roadster and use that same green that he put on his Charger.
That'd be cool.
That would be
That'd
badass.
be cool.
That would be beautiful.
But
Because
you gotta remember, he didn't like green.
Yeah, he does now though.
But now,
Hey, I'm gonna just tell him that's the only color you get to pick now.
Right. any shade of green.
The shades of
No,
green.
you guys knocked the shade out the park because how beautiful would that look with the green interior on a Roadster?
Right.
The color you picked.
Oh yeah, I think the green on green is what makes it. If that car could have been that green with tan or black interior,
No,
it'd have been a whole
the
different.
interior colors.
It'd have been a whole different car.
So who picked the interior color? Did Charles? Pick that?
Charles actually
picked that?
did. Yeah, he sat down and he gathered everything.
I
up.
love the
He
interior
did a
color.
couple spray outs and he gathered, a carpet. There's a lot of shit.
Oh
that
yeah,
goes
you
in it.
can't just
And
pick a
accent.
color and hope the carpet
Yeah,
matches.
you got the shiny, you got the
yeah.
flat, you got the accent, and
Yeah.
you got the carpet, and you got the leather.
Yeah.
The chrome. I don't know if you noticed. The
Yeah,
chrome is
little
all nickel.
nickel,
so it
that's
looks a little
killer.
more
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
So we laid all these things out, and then him and I got together and we picked like these are the ones.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We didn't overwhelm Ed with all those choices. We just said,
Here it is.
Here it
Here it
is.
is. That's all you got.
"Here it is, yes or no."
You don't got 1, 2, or 3. It's
Right.
one, and that's it.
And,
Yeah.
it's like, put it on the dash of your car, put it in the garage, put it out by the
Yeah,
fence in the sun,
Yeah.
and make sure you love it.
Well, obviously he trusts you, and he should because it's not you knocked it out of the park. I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So in the and I know we start getting stretched on time and everything and everything, but I want to just in the value of entertainment and all this stuff. I need you to give me a story of a parking lot party, some kind of funny shit that has happened amongst all the years.
He's probably got like 30.
I know, and here's the thing: you don't have to
It's
be the
all
best one.
cloudy right
You just
now.
got to throw.
He's
You
like,
just got to
"Thank
throw
you."
one my way. Because and while you're thinking about it, I just want to make this statement. One of my favorite things about going to all these events and all this stuff, although there's some great vehicles out there, when we get to visit with some folks and everything while we're at the shows and all this. But when we get done, we wind up at a parking lot party, or we wind up getting thrown out of a Elvis impersonator concert
Party.
or
I
something
forgot there was
like
there.
that. But there's got to be something. I don't want to get nobody in any trouble or anything.
No,
like
we
that.
can't. We can't. Yeah, we
But
got to
but you
protect
can-
the innocent.
You can
right?
throw. You can throw
All
one.
names have
You
been
can throw one
changed.
that way.
All names have been changed.
Yes. yes.
That not to be the old guy here, but that shit's getting touchy right now with all the parking lot takeovers.
Yeah.
These
Oh, I
guys
know.
out
Yeah,
there. They
absolutely.
just tried to shut the Lone Star Throwdown down, and that's like the heart and soul of this trucking
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, sure it is.
Got way out of hand down there. We were actually rolling through one of them when the fucking SWAT team rolled in, and it was like old DeCoin days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit ain't
The
happening
dumpster
no
was on
more.
fire and it was
It-
rolling down the
It
street.
was like I'm the
Well,
old man at DeCoin. It's
yeah,
all young
yeah,
kids
yeah.
with ass dragging trucks and whatnot, and shit's going crazy, and they're shooting flames and bottle rockets, and it was on fire. There's guys up on the roof of the Kroger grocery store shining their spotlights and the lasers, and it was insane. And then just like that, man, the SWAT team come out of nowhere and just was busting ass.
Are we blaming
everywhere.
this on? Are we blaming it all on the guys with ass dragging trucks? I'm thinking about having.
No, I'm not. It was just a lot of them
I'm
there.
thinking about having some stickers made.
I think
that
you're
said-
profiling.
I want to get some stickers made that says I've got worms and just like slap it on the ass end of the truck
dragging
somewhere.
the dog's ass.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just they come with it, right? It's just the young generation, man. It's like they're the car guys of tomorrow are into tearing their shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
You know, it's
understand.
not
I
like
don't
how
understand
cool it
that.
is.
Yeah.
It's not how cool it is. It's spinning around and smoking it off the
That's
light
because
pole,
that's because
knocking the
Dad.
light pole down on your buddy's
Well,
truck.
I don't
Then they get out and high
understand.
five
I
and they're
don't
cheering.
understand the guy like setting up on the super. They got no hood on there, and they're sitting on the supercharger. What are they doing?
Well, you know what
Yeah.
they're doing? They're spending Dad's money.
But
Nobody's had to earn anything for themselves, and so that happens.
the guy sitting on a supercharger, the challenge is to keep your feet out of the
The
belt,
blower
right?
motor.
And then
Keep from losing
driver's
feet.
challenge is to spin him off.
Oh, yeah.
That's entertainment. My
It's
question
it's the bull rider and the operator.
right. This is modern rodeo. My question is, all the people standing around watching this, their challenge is to see how close they can get
What's
to the
wrong with
car
them?
whipping donut.
Yeah, what's wrong
And
with
then
them?
they get smoked. dude.
I've seen
And
that
they
shit.
fly
Yeah.
50 feet and take out
Yeah.
30 people. And then they get up like they ain't hurt. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if you got bumped 5 miles an hour on a crosswalk,
You're
fall
suing.
over
You're
paralyzed.
suing. You're
Yeah.
suing
you're
people.
paralyzed. So where's this difference here? And why is this cool?
Yeah.
But that right there is killing your parking lot parties.
Yeah.
That's killing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
parking lot parties. And then next the shows
yeah.
that spins that off.
Yeah,
And
that
most-
throws a whole new look on the whole parking lot party thing. To me, it's just we've done put the fucking keys away. We're just sitting there telling some bullshit stories, and we're hoping that somebody drank way more than we did, and they like melt in their lawn chair or they
Yeah.
piss their pants or something. But that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's that slowed down thing.
That's it.
All the guys that are doing that are sunburnt from being at the show.
Yeah.
The wild and crazy parking lot parties. None of them people are even at the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but the
yeah,
show
yeah.
gets in trouble for that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
none of those trucks and people and cars were even there.
Yeah. I know that was a lot that went down, and they were discussing everything at LST, and it's unfortunate that the show is the one that come under
Right.
scrutiny because of it, because of a few
Yeah,
individuals.
they probably
you know,
wasn't even at the show.
no,
I
you're absolutely
I
right.
have pulled out of the parking lot at LST, and I look over, and there's a lady face down in the rocks leaving, and I was like, "What the
She-
hell happened to her?"
Hey, listen, she was hey, don't hate. She was just taking a nap.
Right.
She wasn't doing nothing wrong.
She's what we call a rock sniffer.
That's what it was.
Dude, I
Yeah.
was like, "Is she
She's
dead?"
she was
or-
a
passed
rock
out face
sommelier.
down in the
That's
rock.
what it was.
So here's your stand-up citizen test. What did you do? Did you drive on
No,
or
I
did
didn't
you
want
help
to-
her?
You know what it looked like?
I was like, "What
I
the
believe you
hell?"
probably drove on. Like,
I didn't want to
yeah, that
interrupt.
bitch looked like
I'm
she was
not
dead.
stopping.
You're looking in the mirror, about to rear end the guy in front.
Yeah.
She still ain't moving.
Nobody recorded
I
me
wasn't
saying that
stopping.
bitch is dead.
Yeah.
She was in deep thought.
She probably got hit by
All
one
right,
of them whip
all right,
around.
so I'll
cars.
give you our last weekend's parking lot party, and it's changed because even though I'm still hanging out with old motherfuckers in a parking lot party, if you get a little tipsy drunk and you start telling a story, talking shit, you got to watch because the motherfucker
Somebody's gonna
beside
record you.
may be recording you.
Uh-oh.
He's calling you
Won't
out.
say anybody fucking names, Bill.
He's calling you out, Bill.
So, you know, it
Motorboater.
was like 3 days later, he puts this video up, and it's me fucking drunk, fucking
Running.
yeah. So the parking lot party has changed, even for us old people, because you got to watch what the fuck
Yeah.
you say because
Now you
somebody's
got-
recording you.
I didn't even get.
You got peeping Tom's taking it home for later.
I didn't even get to make it down there, and then all I hear about is like Barry Higgins is having the love child of Boris Marnovsky, and I was like, what the fuck is going
That
on?
was him.
What did I miss?
That's me.
Did you write that?
You too?
Yeah.
You too? You
Yeah,
both are?
yeah.
I didn't mean this is some
I
Springer
need-
shit
I
here.
Need fucking paid is all I need paid.
So you're just in for the child
Yeah,
support?
Definitely.
It wasn't love. He wasn't in it for love.
I know I'm gonna pull rank. I'm not even worried about it.
Oh shit! So listen, this has been a phenomenal time, and Scott, I appreciate you so much. This is fun as hell.
I feel like we didn't get to what we were supposed to talk
No,
about.
no.
That-
Here's
that's
a-
next
here's a fun
time.
thing
That's
about-
the part of
All right.
that about coming
This is-
back.
Until the next episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and this is just like we do the
Right.
show.
Yeah.
We just do whatever the fuck we want to
Next,
do.
next time I'm gonna wear this on the shirt.
You are maybe we. Yeah.
How about a
What?
big
You know
banner
what?
behind
Maybe next time on the
Well,
backside where it
hey,
shows the sponsors, you'll
And
say
next time
AccuAir
we need a
or
Classic
Roadster
Car
Shop.
Studio banner for back
Yeah,
here.
we
you
can
know.
hang that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
We don't need a sponsor. We just need to. If you're going to come, we need a banner.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
And,
Maybe
But-
Charles can come on next time if we plan this a little better.
we can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, I
Well-
mean, just let me know what you guys are wanting to do or what.
Yeah.
and-
Well,
no,
you
that'd be
know,
fantastic.
We want
and-
to do this. You know, we want to run through.
Hey, man, I
Ten-
don't mind being the guinea pig.
We want to run through 10 guys, and we want to come right back to the
10
guys.
Well, and
the
it- and-
guys that
Here-
you
Oh,
know,
here's the
come
thing.
right back to
Barry's
like
got a
10
thing about
guys.
having a bunch of guys around him. I don't know.
You go through 10 guys, don't come back to me.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Hey,
be
and-
dirty. I don't want it to burn when I see it.
Hey, and listen, maybe next time I'll remember to hit record before I come back here and get behind the
Shit,
microphone.
we lost all this. No, but
Don't
for
say
you, for
that.
you next time, you plug the shit out of your show, but nobody still knows what the date is. Why don't you tell them what the date
Okay.
is?
Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. So here's the.
Hey, there is going to be
God damn.
1,000 trucks there.
1,000 trucks somewhere someday.
There'll be
Yeah,
1,000
yeah.
trucks somewhere. But so Southern Illinois Truck Showdown is Labor Day weekend. It always will be every year in Marion, Illinois, at Mountain Dew Park. Our title sponsor of the year is LMC Truck, and it's presented by Higgins Customs. We've got a ton of sponsors above and beyond them, which we appreciate very much. And I'll probably run out of the ability to record if I go through and mention all of them. But these guys are, they have been great in supporting us for the show the last couple of years. And the show is growing, and I appreciate everybody that's been involved. And but back to this episode, I've had a blast doing this, and I know a lot of fun, a lot of joking around. But Scott, I really do appreciate you coming on and giving us a little bit of your backstory and, just having fun with us and hanging out. And that's what it's all
Maybe next
about.
time your wife can step on in here and then, because she's funnier than you.
Thanks, Barry. I can't have anything to myself.
I mean, she
Yeah.
owns all your vehicles.
Now
She
she
may
has
as well step
all
in here
my
and
trucks.
talk about.
and now my little
Talk
bitty podcast time.
You can't
She
have
has
that
too.
Hey, you can't have shit, can you? You can't have shit, can you?
Yeah, no, I think she took my hearing.
Huh? Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can bring your fur baby on next.
That's
time,
right.
too.
That's right.
Married life.
That's what I was gonna do. Officially introduce. Be like, we got Dax's dad on the show.
Yeah, we'll bring
today.
Dax on.
Dax's dad on.
Yeah, we bring the
Yeah.
mini line. We have a whole episode
Well,
on the mini.
That's
He
right.
may
They
have-
lay right here.
I was
He may
hoping to
have
hear
more
a story
followers
about a
than
new
you.
push car.
Well,
Hey,
followers
he's
than
got-
you do.
hey, you know what? And she says, the wife says, those are Dak's trucks. At least he gets his own trucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Well,
dog
thank
has
you,
more
Scott.
cars
Thank
than
you
me.
again.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Well-
we'll get together again. And hey, listen, maybe next time we can have you on and we'll actually know what the fuck we're doing.
Hey, the cool thing is, for me, is I know how much you don't have spare time, and you do this for
nobody,
us.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody
For
has time.
Yeah, for you to come and do this, we really appreciate it.
I
So-
appreciate the invite. I was totally honored to even.
Hey,
make
we
your
invited you before Boris.
Oh, really?
So I mean,
Man. Man. Wow.
The whole love child
Hey,
thing.
you're
Yeah,
making
yeah.
my wife look at me different now. I am somebody.
So before we get out, Barry, give them the original punchline, not
Oh,
some
yeah.
shit you've made up.
Yeah,
if you're
I
what,
do. I'm working on a new.
I know.
one,
Please
and I
don't
ain't
work
got
on it.
I
Just
ain't
tell.
got
Just
it.
give them the punchline.
So basically, if you're not in Marion, Illinois, Labor Day weekend, you're pretty well nobody.
Thank you very much. See you guys next time.